In March 2021, an online artist known as Beeple listed a JPEG file for sale at Christie's auction house. That file sold for $69.3 million, making Beeple the third richest living artist. But that single transaction set off a chain reaction, releasing carbon emissions equivalent to a commercial plane flying halfway across the world. How does something as simple as pressing a few keys have such a devastating impact on the environment? Beeple sold that JPEG file as a digital collectible called an NFT, or non-fungible token. NFTs are purchased through blockchain technology, which serves as a public digital record of transactions. When an NFT is created, it comes with its own unique certification marking the piece as original on the blockchain.
It's basically a very long CVS receipt, a long CVS receipt of code, and it says this one artist created this piece, they sold it for this much, then this person bought it, they sold it, and it keeps track of all of that, like an extremely long receipt.
The value of an NFT comes from that certification. It cannot be reproduced or replicated. NFTs are bought and sold through online marketplaces that use cryptocurrency called Ethereum, which runs off a verification system called proof of work. Every time a transaction occurs, complex computers solve a series of puzzles to verify each transaction. These users, or miners, are rewarded in cryptocurrency themselves. Then they charge a fee to other people who buy and sell NFTs. As more and more people use Ethereum, the puzzles get more and more complicated, and the computers use more energy to solve them. And there's a lot of money in solving those problems. What originally started as a few computers has expanded to thousands of computers across the globe, all competing for cryptocurrency. All these computers run on electricity through grids powered by fossil fuels. The creation of a single NFT uses 340 kilowatt hours of energy. That ecological footprint is equivalent to using a computer for 3 years straight, flying a commercial airplane for 2.4 hours, and driving 800 miles. And that's just one NFT. The average NFT artist can cause emissions hundreds, sometimes even thousands of times over that amount. So do NFTs have to use all that energy? NFT advocates say that the worst effects of NFTs can be mitigated through adopting new technology. They say that Ethereum, the currency backing NFTs, will soon transfer to a less intensive system called proof of stake, and that requires less processing power and electricity. But Duncan Gear, a writer and information designer studying climate change, says the issue is far more complicated.
Ethereum has been promising to move away from proof of work almost since it was invented, and has missed many self-imposed deadlines to do so. If I had to speculate on why that might be the case, I would say it's because the community has a very strong economic incentive to focus the bulk of its attention on growth instead. I don't believe that will change until environmental concerns begin to seriously harm potential for future growth.
As the market continues to expand with the creation of new NFTs, there's no telling how long it will take for Ethereum to fully transition to proof of stake. Even developers at Ethereum admit that transitioning to this new energy-saving system will be a big technical challenge. But NFT advocates propose another solution to this emission problem: carbon offsets. People who mint and purchase NFTs can offset their carbon emissions in the form of investments somewhere else, like planting trees or renewable energy. Some artists like Beeple promise to actually become carbon negative through investments in carbon offsets designed to make up for emissions caused by NFTs. So, problem solved. Well, not quite. Duncan says that many of these investments will be too little too late.
On a technical level, we don't have the time to wait for offsets to do their work. We're in a climate emergency, and we've already failed to act for too long. A forest planted tomorrow won't achieve its promised carbon offsets for decades, and in the meantime, we're already seeing the effects of the climate crisis in heat waves, wildfires, flooding, and extreme weather events across the world.
NFTs are bought and sold by some of the wealthiest nations on Earth, while their impacts are paid for by some of the poorest. The barrier to entry for NFTs of high-tech computers and mining machines means that wealthy countries will exclusively see the benefits of this new technology, as poor nations will be forced to bear the brunt of the ecological disaster wrought by NFTs. Using such extreme amounts of energy for speculative markets is not just wasteful, it's irresponsible.